Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Group Chat. New schedule, new us. We're all here, and we got a hot episode.
Great episode.
We took our own advice. We showed up.
Guess who didn't show up? A lot of people.
Tucker
the guy
Carlson.
that I was pumping up last week is a bum.
Yep.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. There's also some updates on the golf saga. Turns out Ari, for everyone who followed Ari and his raise and his commitment to the Group Chat squad, he's out of here. He's taking off.
He just put his resignation on live.
Just put his resignation on air. He lasted about a month, and now he has a whole new career path, completely different than everything he's been working on. So it turns out his long-term belief in Group Chat was all a farce. And we got a lot of news. Of course, there's a lot going on. There's the banking crisis is back. Of course, we got to check in on Bud Light. It is Wednesday, so we're going to do our winners, losers, and content on Wednesday from now on. So we end with that. We got a lot. It's a great episode to get you through the rest of the week. Who's ready?
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, Group Chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Welcome to our new schedule. All three of us are here for the second time in a row.
Whoa.
That's a big streak.
I just have an update. Just a quick update for you guys on the golf saga. Number one, golf content seemed to be a hit. I feel a little bad for Eric.
Well, luckily he doesn't listen, so he doesn't know what happened.
He listened
His
to
wife,
this one.
Shannon, listens.
Yeah, he got blown up so much. Like, why the fuck are so many people texting me? And so he went and listened. So Eric, sorry, you weren't here to defend yourself, but whatever. And then I've officially been invited to Bel Air Country Club.
Oh, wow.
The invites are rolling in, and I think I might just start like an Anthony Bourdain of golf. Invite me out. I'll do a review on the podcast. I'll see if they make me tuck my shirt in.
Has a date been set for Bel Air?
It looks like May 11th.
Okay.
Because Eric wants to come on before the match and defend himself.
That's fair. I think that we should give him equal airtime. That's the rule.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Is Eric going to that one again?
Yeah, it's Eric,
okay.
Brew, and Drama.
Okay, what a crew.
Is there
After the pod, Brew texted the group and said, let's make it happen.
Brew said it was his favorite content of the year.
Okay.
Because we talked about golf, country clubs, Eric Weiss.
You mean if you do the Anthony Bourdain of country clubs, you could even say like, how racist are they?
Yeah.
The diversity. Because you may never get to go back anyways. You might as well burn the place down on 100%. The way out.
Because look, I'm not, I think that country clubs have notoriously been, some of them have been discriminatory against women and different races, right? And even though I am a straight white male, I think that my tattoos are like next on the list. Like they fucking hate. They hate all these tattoos and my untucked shirt and my fucking beard and not that I by any means can relate to actual, discrimination, but how they treat a tattooed, kid from Ohio will be a big tell.
Yeah.
About the general culture.
The flagpole, El Cab to Bel Air.
Yeah.
Yeah, big jump. That's a big jump. So if anyone out there has like a
what's the peak,
fancy
LACC?
He's not allowed at LACC. This is just not allowed. I've been to LACC.
I don't know. It's going to be rough. I'm going to see how high I can get. I'm going to see at LA where I peak out.
LACC, I mean, you can ask golfers and each country club has a different theme.
Yeah.
Bel Air is actually progressive.
Yeah.
I always reference that I saw Schoolboy Q playing around there.
Oh, you're right.
That's your box
I'll be
check.
fine there.
They're the most welcoming club. They got Schoolboy Q there.
And Chris Paul plays there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be
fine. They have famous minorities.
Yes.
Do you think LACC is the most tough?
I think they're just very strict on their look and the type of people that are allowed to be members.
Just like a wasp.
Yeah. Big wasp.
I can wear long
I think they
sleeves and
brag
some
about
vineyard
there's
vines.
one There's one Indian cardiologist that I think's a member. That's like their big claim to fame.
Light skin Indian.
Oh, that's their.
Well, they need a doctor on the premise.
Yeah, just in case. They don't even let famous people in.
Wow.
I mean, there are famous people, but they don't want attention.
Yeah.
And there's two 18-hole golf courses on Wilshire by Westwood.
It's
Between
most
Beverly-
insane.
I mean, it's billions of dollars of real estate.
Yeah, literally billions. And there's no one ever on them because I'll be at office buildings overlooking. There's like one person playing golf there.
Yeah.
I've been
telling
once. There's a lot of shrines to Ronald Reagan.
The big
Oh my
Reagan
God.
guys.
I'll tell you, I think the biggest opportunity, and I have no idea the economics of a golf course, and I'm sure that they're ugly unless you have some sort of land hookup. But I think an H-Wood operated country club would be the biggest thing in the
It would
fucking
be.
world.
It would
Because I'm
be.
telling you, when I go golfing, like I literally run into like, there's a place called Angelus, which is like in Sunland.
Yeah. I know that
Bieber's
place.
there all the time.
Yeah.
YG has been golfing. All these people. You get Zach Bia out there with the homies and put the
true.
word out. There's Delilah that you can Delilah food. There's a
Delilah's
little
the
nice
country
guy
club,
at the turn.
the actual clubhouse.
Yeah.
And then you can go there and watch games and shit. Are you kidding me? That would be the biggest fucking thing ever.
Yeah, I think obviously to do that, you need you got to do it in the outskirts somewhere.
Yeah, Malcolm
that's the
Gladwell has a
tough
whole
part.
topic on this, how it's like such a joke that golf courses take up the most prime real estate in major cities.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand the business of it, but man,
It's just
that'd be
old
the coolest
school,
shit in the world.
they're just annexed in. You're never getting that club. I'm not out of my cold blood hands.
Yeah.
36 holes, just have 18. Why does LACC have to have 36 holes?
I mean, why would they give up?
It is nice. It's a nice perk. If you're a member, because you got to think like you play the same course, some people multiple times a week, and like to be able to have more
Have
options.
the variety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But once you're in that level, it's reciprocal. The clubs.
What do you mean?
Like a Bel Air member will know an LACC member and all that
Oh,
stuff.
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
But they're
Yeah, they
not
all
just
trade off.
letting other members of other clubs in.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I mean, the club that I was a part of is called Braemar. It's across the street from El Cab, Eric's place. You can see the tees of one place from the other place. But that place, they literally like look down and spit on it. Go to
spit on
Braemar
Braemar.
then. Yes.
Yeah.
That's
So
like, it's
Eric
really like
is
the
spitting
hood.
on you when you walk by.
Yeah, I mean, I quit for my reputation. I'm no longer a member at Braemar, but
Did you quit? Really?
yeah, I quit.
Because you got sick of getting spit on.
Yeah, I got sick of getting spit on by the fucking elites over across the street at El Cab. And El Cab, just for the listener, like I said, it's a very nice country club, and especially like for the price, I feel like it's nicer than the price, but it's not like Bel Air, LACC, not even close. Wilshire.
You made that
saying
very
cost.
clear on the last pause.
I'm saying cost. I'm saying those places are like $250,000. Like El Cab is not that, and they're still just spitting across the street on Braemar, man. It is wow. It's brutal.
I mean, you may never get into any of these country clubs given your critique of these.
Well, also, it could either go that way, or they know they have to. It's like
Or, I mean, LACC be like, this guy's spitting on all these country clubs. He sounds like our type of guy. We spit on everybody.
yeah. I might have just got in, and like imagine how they treated Bourdain when he would walk into a restaurant. That's kind of what I'm going for. Like I'm going to show up. You're not going to recognize my name on the tea time, and they're going to be like, "Oh, it's the guy."
Yeah, because
Hello, sir.
LA
Feel free
Times
to
food
untuck your
writer.
shirt.
Yeah.
Everyone gets terrified when he shows up to a restaurant.
That's what I want to be, but for golf,
Golf, yeah.
for the new generation.
That's an unbelievable thing to have. If just people all over the world are inviting you to every city has like this prestigious one or two golf clubs, and you just get invited to go everywhere.
I mean, how do you get into Augusta? Did anyone even know?
I mean, you have to spit on so many people to get into Augusta.
Literally, yeah.
You just have to
You
walk
have to
up
like
and
film
spitting
it.
on people.
Give me 40 clips of you spitting on people at other country
I
clubs.
think if you win
of all types of life.
I
too.
honestly think the easiest way is if you win the Masters.
That's your only chance.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, who just plays there day to day? I don't know anything about that. Is it just
people are
Like, 'cause,
spitting
Hey,
on
this
people.
is part of your new job. Do the
I gotta
journalism.
figure it out? Because the biggest pros in the world talk about what an honor it is to play there. So who just plays there? Who's playing there today?
Yeah.
Do you know what the hot course is? The Michael Jordan course.
Yeah, that seems my type. That seems kind of like my Delilah vision or my H-word.
I think that's more your speed.
Yeah.
I also, there's a club. I think this is really common, actually. I'm new here, but there's a club that my friend's trying to join who's a pro skateboarder. And like part of joining it is you have to like play a certain amount of rounds with existing members, and you have to, go have dinner with them, and they have to like really approve you. And so like it's this pro skateboarder kid like hanging out with these like 70-year-old dudes like trying to prove he's a nice guy. It's fucking absurd.
I think we know what you need to say to get approved.
Yeah, there's a couple keywords you could. Anywho, so that's my new career path. But what I heard you guys talking about Ari. Ari's going to college or something.
Yeah, Ari came in today. He's been admitted to a handful of colleges.
For what?
For undergrad.
Okay.
And then he told me,
You're getting what are you, Van Wilder? Getting a late start.
Yeah, what's happening? How old are you, Ari?
I'm 22.
Oh yeah, you're the old.
So I've been
dude.
in community college,
Okay.
ran my business, and now I'm going back.
Okay.
and then I asked him, I was like, why are you going to college again? Because he makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
And he has a whole plan where he's going to go, I think he only needs a year left to get an undergrad degree.
Got it.
And then he wants to go to law school.
Okay.
Then he wants to be a public defender.
Oh God.
And that's where he lost me.
yeah. He's gonna
Why?
get over that
Ari,
once he has to
what's
pay
going
for law
on?
school. He'll be over that.
What I mean,
He'll be a personal injury lawyer with
No,
the
no, no.
billboards
No
running all
personal
over-
injury,
all
no
over
employment.
Beverly Hills.
no,
You'll
I'm
be-
not
you'll
the
be-
next Jacob.
Yeah,
no,
Jacob
thank you.
Ronnie.
Pernia, whatever.
the
public
richest-
defender. What? Is
Yeah,
What
what's
are you
the
doing,
plan
Ari?
after 5 years of a
Where'd
public
you
defender?
get into college first? Let's hear some school names.
So it's between Santa Cruz, Davis, and Santa Barbara right now.
okay.
Those are my top three.
And so which is the front runner?
It's probably between Santa Barbara or Davis.
Yeah.
I think
Santa Barbara feels like the move. That's like an awesome
So
look at-
Javier went there. He's a gaucho.
Yeah, he's a big gaucho.
Yeah. So he's been pushing me to go to Santa Barbara, but I don't know.
But why this career path? I feel like you could like own some sort of production company, in a handful of years.
You
and,
forgot
like,
my favorite show is The West Wing. I've been inspired drama.
Who?
Oh,
I mean,
West Wing or
isn't that
politicians?
about the White House?
yeah.
I mean, it's about policy, and I just want to get into that, do my civil service.
But a public defender?
You can't make a difference, right?
I mean, here's the thing. It's like, what value am I adding to the world right now as a podcast producer?
More people
Not
will
much.
reach.
More
You're
value.
reaching more. Yeah.
I don't think
More
so.
influential. Do you realize that one of the most influential people in the world is Jamie, the producer for the Joe Rogan Experience?
Sure, but
Just saying.
I'm
Just
just
saying, if
saying,
we're being honest, how many public defenders does it take to equal one, successful podcast engineer?
remember Ari got recognized in Utah? Where were you?
yeah, in an Uber in Salt Lake
Just from
City.
this podcast.
But I was wearing the Kathy hat.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
You want to go
So
be a
what
public.
Yeah. What's a public defender?
Have you seen the public? Do you want to defend them?
Yeah,
Are you sure
I
you
do.
wanna
I
defend
think
them?
everybody has the right to adequate defense, and I want to go be part of that for
But
a
there's
little
people
while.
who do that already.
Can you do it in another city? We need to clean up crime around here.
Yeah, I don't think Ari's a net positive to LA.
Yeah, go to New York.
Yeah, clean up those streets.
yeah,
Or, actually defend those people.
defend those people.
Ari, I would argue, look, props to you and whatever you do, we'll support you and all that. But I would argue that, maybe if instead you built like a resume of influential podcasts that, you felt like made an impact on the youth, I think you would actually make a much bigger impact on society than being another public defender.
I mean, listen,
think about
let
it.
me go get my undergrad. Let me
Sure.
go to law school, get the JD, and then we could see what happens next.
Okay.
Fair enough. Okay,
I
well,
like gauchos.
congratulations. That's great. Got
Thank
three colleges, so you have
So
three
you're out
options.
of here August.
Yeah, I'm out of here August.
Okay.
We knew it. We said
So,
this
so
when we gave
whenever
you the
whenever you
raise.
said 6 months at the raise,
Yeah.
you were like, oh, he's gone in 6 months. I was sitting here like, yeah, I'm gone in 6 months.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I know how it works.
yeah, exactly.
we know
I've
how
done
this works.
done many rodeos.
We're going to have to hire back the team.
yeah.
He got them all
Yeah.
fired and he leaves within 6 months.
That's what I'm saying. This guy, did you hear his pitch when we gave him the raise? Like, oh, well, I could see a future for what we're going to do. And this
Well,
guy
I
doesn't
gotta
want to
sell.
work here. This guy doesn't
I
want
gotta
to make
sell.
podcasts. He wants to be
Yeah.
a goddamn public defender.
in 7 years.
7 years and $500,000 later, in a career that's getting automated daily by AI.
Oh, you're out of here. But I mean, 1 year and it's just
You might
fucking
not even be
ChatGPT's
employable
representing
after
you.
law school.
They'd be like, you're guilty. Next. ChatGPT just got.
Yeah,
I
they just
mean,
look at
we
your
talked about-
record, look at everything. Nah, doesn't look good. See you later.
We talked about a startup, how AI is basically disrupting everything in legal land and personal injury attorney.
Yeah.
That's within 6 months of ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And what is it, 3 weeks of auto GPT?
Yeah.
By the time this guy's done in law school,
It's over. There's no lawyers anymore. 7 years, no more lawyers. All right,
Not
cool.
4 years.
Good luck. And we're excited for you. Here's some big news when it comes to the state of media and, hosts. Both Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon were fired the other day.
Yep.
The funny thing is, seemingly, I mean, I don't see any reason how they could, had nothing to do with each other, right? It just so happened that, in the same instance, Tucker Carlson, I would say, is like the biggest, his ratings are like the highest on all of Fox News. So that's a pretty big deal. Don Lemon, it sounds like, has been kind of struggling a little bit. I mean, I would say he used to be one of the biggest, now not so much. So that one makes a little bit more sense, but still he's, one of the faces of the network. Big moves.
It's blockbuster because, whether you like him or not, Tucker Carlson's like one of the most influential people in America. And
which also makes it more interesting that they fired him.
Yeah. Well, so I did read a couple things around this. Was one, obviously the background is the Old Dominion case got settled last week where they paid like $800 million.
Right. Fox
News had to pay. And so one of the things that was interesting about Tucker Carlson getting fired was, so Newsmax anchor came out yesterday, said that Tucker Carlson believed he was bigger than Fox News. So that was a big kind of, I think his ego had gotten out of control. And it sounds like Lachlan Murdoch, he doesn't fuck around. He doesn't like, I don't even know if he likes Fox News, like the direction of it. And so this was his power play to kind of get control of the network. The other is the biggest advertisers of Fox News don't advertise on Tucker Carlson's show because he's so polarizing. So even though his show is so big and his influence is so big on the entire network, like My Pillow is Tucker Carlson's biggest advertisers. The biggest advertisers were afraid of being affiliated with Tucker. So even though he had financially had made such a large impact historically, I think at this exact moment, it was a business decision. Like, I don't think this guy is bringing in as much money as he used to.
Yeah, I don't think
there's one more thing. There's one more thing, which is that in that lawsuit with Dominion, a lot of the text messages came out and we saw some of them, but apparently there were some really nasty texts about like Fox management and stuff.
Yeah.
So Rupert. And so I think that was also like, all right, fuck this guy.
Yeah. There's clearly a cover this is a perfect time to fire him.
Yeah. I don't think it's a coincidence when you lose an $800 million settlement, you have another like $2 or $3 billion lined up coming after you, that you'll be insolvent if you don't tell the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what the courts have just said. Because if they kept him on and he keeps lying and just making up his own news, like they did with the voting machines, I mean, Fox News will be bankrupt.
Yeah, because I also think we're used to like tech money, and so when you hear 800 billion, you're like, oh, great, just another speeding ticket. But for Fox, that's meaningful. And you stack another billion on top of that. I think they have like 4 billion in cash or something. Like it's chipping away quick. This isn't Facebook.
And even if they're insured, now their insurance premiums just probably went through the roof.
Yeah.
Like, you morons are going to be involved in this stuff for the next 3 to 4 years. And you're leading into an election cycle.
Yeah.
So what kind of batshit crazy stuff was he going to say in the next 12 months?
Yeah. So I wonder what that means for the direction of the network. Like, they need a blockbuster star, right? They can go homegrown and just promote whoever internally. I don't know who the next star in line is there, but like you either have to go get talent that's like big, or you have to like,
they need Ben Shapiro, right?
Ben Shapiro would be pretty blockbuster. He just
he
makes
probably
too much
makes
money.
too much on his own podcast.
And
Yeah, I
doing
think
nothing.
that one of the biggest people courting Tucker right now is the Daily Wire, which is Ben Shapiro. Like, I think this is actually a big move the other way. It's going to end up being a big move for non-linear TV media because someone's going to get Tucker. They're going to add him to their thing. Fox is probably going to, I don't know. It's hard to replace. He was the star. They talked about this a little bit on one of the shows I watched, but similar to like sports, like how we talk about sports, I don't necessarily, was Tucker bigger than Fox? I mean, that's pretty crazy to say, but like stars matter more than ever, the same way they do in sports. And so if you lose one of your prime guys and he goes to the Daily Wire, that's tough.
And it's a liability for whoever picks him up next. Because Alex Jones, $1.4 billion.
Yeah.
And he's bankrupt now.
Yeah. I mean,
it's so stupid. Like, you did all that to say that fucking voting machines were
it was getting
fraudulent.
ratings.
I know. I mean, I get it, but like,
I think people also didn't like. This is part of the reason why like there's a lot of things happening in society right now where all of these actions are now having consequences. So whether it's the Old Dominion or what happened on January 6th, or even what no matter what you do now, there's clear consequences for your actions.
It'll just take time. Everyone thought everything can run free.
Yeah.
And they're coming for you at some point.
Yeah.
And you have to, you may have to settle for $800 million.
Yeah. And
which is
what's
great.
interesting,
I mean, great that people have to think about that.
Yeah. It's good that everyone's being held accountable because it was complete fuckery. Similarly, Don Lemon got fired, and a lot of people are saying I don't know if you guys, I actually watched the interview with Vivek Ramaswamy, who's the presidential candidate.
Yeah.
And it was around like gun rights during the Civil War. I mean, it's just like, the conversation was batshit crazy.
It was so stupid.
It was so stupid. But Don Lemon got really defensive and kind of, in my opinion, attacked him, which isn't normal for a news host. Specifically at CNN, Fox News, whatever. You could do whatever you want. You could beat up the cat.
It's probably similar to what you said with Tucker. They were just looking for an excuse to get rid of him.
Yeah, and he probably is their highest paid anchor, and they're looking to cut costs. Hey, we probably pay him $10 million a year. Get him out of here. I mean,
it's also just the amount of like, man, what a good job, because both of these guys are probably getting paid out of contracts. Like, both of these guys are probably getting paid for a couple years of not doing any work coming up.
I don't know. I think they probably have like cause,
I'm sure clauses.
Yeah,
I wonder. You always hear these stories, and it's
Tucker may not
like,
have gotten anything because like the $800 million check might be the tipping point for him.
What you always hear is like, because it's such a liability to the network of these guys are a mouthpiece. Like, people listen, and so they can just go trash you instantly. And it just seems like, I mean, who knows? We don't know anything for a fact, but it just seems like they've probably got a pretty sweet deal, I would imagine, to just kind of shut the fuck up and move on to the next thing.
Yeah, because the last thing Fox wants is a lawsuit of Tucker suing them and then putting other people on the stand. And putting some
or
other
a
anchors on the
podcast
stand.
to come out tomorrow and say, here's everything that's actually going on at Fox News, and here's, like, you don't want that.
Yeah. No, but I'm sure Fox News is notorious. Those are tight-lipped confidentiality agreements. You want a little check on your way out?
Yep.
You shut the fuck up.
Yeah. That's what I think happened.
They pat you on the butt. They write you a check and say, get out of here.
It's also shocking how long Tucker Carlson's been on TV.
Yeah.
He's on when I was in high school.
Yeah.
He's on a show called Crossfire with James Carville on CNN.
On CNN, yeah.
Wow.
And I'm turning 40 this year. So that's 25 years ago.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, it looks great.
I guess you make $25 million a year. You look pretty good.
I think Tucker's a star. Once again, I don't like his content, but I think he's a star. I think he's going to be huge somewhere. But man, Don Lemon, what's he do?
Yeah, I don't know about him.
That's
I don't think he's gonna make that kind of money. I think Tucker could make $20 million a year on a pod pretty easily.
Yeah, easily.
Someone will give him that.
I don't think Don has the audience.
I mean, if I'm Tucker, I'd leave America and do a pod criticizing America all day.
But just go to Puerto Rico?
Yeah, whatever. Go to London.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet his inbox must be absurd. His offers right now from whoever, Daily Wire.
I wonder what
Rumble.
agency reps him.
Someone that makes a lot of money.
Yeah. Someone that's about to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, those were two just massive things back to back. Tucker seemed like a little untouchable You know?
Yeah.
Like I think I don't
that.
know the data. I know he has the highest rated show on Fox. I heard like he has the highest rated talk show or whatever you want to call it on cable.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty monstrous numbers what he's doing. But
yeah,
Rupert was not having it.
No, not at all.
Let's go to this just because it's kind of in a similar vein of probably Tucker. Bud Light update.
Yeah.
Sales are let's do our Tucker segment. Sales are falling. I mean, this is real. Like this is once again, I think we said on the last episode, and I'll stick by this, long term, Anheuser-Busch, totally fine. I don't think any of us are concerned at all. But
not at all.
This is a very serious impact, it seems, on Bud Light sales with this.
Last week, the sales went down 17%. It's immediate reaction.
And Coors and Miller Lite are up 18% each.
I mean,
those are meaningful numbers.
So someone who used to work at Anheuser-Busch messaged me, and they agree there's like short-term pain and longer-term it should be fine. Look, I think Bud Light should basically go to Roger Goodell and say, can we get an NFL game in June? Like put together a game, let Bud Light sponsor it.
Yeah.
And go from there. I mean, like, it's just like, I agree. I think it's a short-term problem.
Yep.
But it goes back to like the way like society works now. If it doesn't like what you have to say or do, it reacts immediately.
Yes,
that's which is actually pretty cool. Like I like that. Once again, I'm not taking a stand here on the trans thing. I'm saying I like the fact that, like we've always said,
he's
you
really
don't like
putting
something.
His resume for these country clubs.
God damn it! We will not serve Bud Light at LACC.
Yeah. If I wanted to go to some of these country clubs, I'd shoot up some Bud Light cans. But my point is, we've always said on this show, like, you know, vote with your wallet, vote with your, you know, like if you don't like it, then don't buy it. And people really do that a little more in this like fast social media age.
Yeah, and look, I think I agree. I think it's a short-term thing. It's just too iconic of a brand. It's got to, you know, I remember when Nike has had issues historically, or Lululemon, or any of these brands for whatever reason. It's a blip. These brands are too good. They're too iconic. And
even when Nike had whatever controversy you want to talk about, I don't think they ever saw a 17% immediate decline.
No.
It was more public discourse.
It was like, the stock's down 1.5%, which is obviously irrelevant.
Yeah.
When you think about stocks of that scale.
Yeah, but 17%'s a lot.
It's a lot. And I also think that every time, one of the things that's kind of risky, like once again, in like the bank run situation we just had or the GameStop, is like now the people who are boycotting are seeing the result of their boycott. And I think that tends to encourage more boycotting.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, oh my God, it's working.
In the last 4 years, we always used to talk about how the boycotts were irrelevant.
Yeah.
Because they would say, oh, this brand supports MAGA and the brand does fine. This brand is progressive. The brand does fine.
I will tell you what, it's the right though. Like, I feel like the right is a little more active.
Yeah, they're more unified.
Like the left just kind of like complains and hashtags. The right fucking will not buy the beer.
They'll blow up the bucket.
Literally, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, I feel like, I don't know, man, when you piss them off, they change. It's
if
pretty
we have
wild.
any, young listeners in the SEC, Alabama, Georgia, LSU, any of those colleges, have the frat houses emptied out the Bud Light. You walk into any frat house,
I'm
Bud
sure.
Light, Coors Light, Miller Lite.
Yeah.
I bet you there's some really bad stuff going on. Some bad visuals.
That's the wrong demo to be testing.
I'm just curious because
Alabama frat boys are
as a college student, you want cheap beer.
What?
Yeah.
You want cheap beer.
Like a Natty Ice.
Yeah.
I bet you what's happening at Southern colleges with Bud Light right now would make you question humanity.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. I agree. Oh, by the way, I totally forgot. Morgan Wallen is a train wreck.
Oh, that was my loser. That was going to be my loser. He's a disaster.
We talked about him as being like the most bankable star.
Yeah, he's a bum.
Yeah, we talked about, you know who's showing up to Coachella? Morgan Wallen. This guy can't even show up to one of his shows.
Yeah, he's just a drunk.
Canceled 5 minutes before.
That's bad.
I mean, that's way worse
How
than...
old is he?
Everyone's quitting.
Is he under 20? Is he 20?
if you're not
29.
one of those legacy stars like we talked about, Taylor Swift, Drake,
Yeah.
that are pros, they show up. They got their big check. I don't think anyone under 30 is showing up.
So concerts are 50-50.
Yeah.
May 13th.
There's a good
he's
chance
almost
you
30.
And
Yeah.
think about like when we were talking about the concerts canceling because whichever like emo artist is like, I'm not showing up. Think about the travel people do to get to some of these shows.
Oh, yeah.
Like our cousin brought her
Yeah.
2 teenage daughters from SF because Blackpink wasn't going to be touring in SF. They made a whole weekend out of it, planned it months in advance, and Blackpink
That's
showed
every
up.
concert.
Yeah,
Every
yeah.
concert anywhere in the
Yes.
world, people are planning months in advance. Like
Especially
I was with
that
someone
size.
yesterday was like telling me about Beyonce in October. I was like,
Yes.
what? October?
September,
In-
right?
No, but not in LA, in like Baltimore or something. And they're making a weekend out of it and they're doing this and they're doing that. I was like, you're thinking that far in advance? Like,
yeah, artists of that size, that crowd is not all locals. Like it's so much of that. And look, I mean, none of this is, I don't have proof of any of this. This is TikTok rumors because I did a little deep dive last night. But apparently all the opening acts went on. Everyone was allowed to, like, for instance, buy merch. You know, they probably sold a shit ton of merch.
yeah.
Everyone got all ready. You know, they bought their food. They did all their stuff. And then 5 minutes before he went on, just a message came on the screen that said, sorry, you know, lost his voice. And then the rumor is that he was hooking up with this girl, Livy Dunn or something, who's like a huge TikTok star.
Okay.
And that he was wasted and that he was actually like had alcohol poisoning or was just too hungover to perform. He didn't lose his voice. So this is what
Where was the concert? Somewhere down there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this is not unique to music. It's happening in sports everywhere but the NFL.
Yeah.
NFL, you show up.
Yeah.
NBA, you have no idea
Oxford.
who's showing up on a given night.
Oxford, Mississippi.
Yeah.
Wow.
The NFL is the only bankable large-scale event.
Yeah.
The players will show up and play.
Like you go to the Super Bowl, you know the stars are playing.
Yes. You have 3 concussions the week before, you're playing.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like DeMar Hamlin's back in the league.
Yeah. That's absurd. That guy fucking met Jesus and he's ready to play in 2 months. Jesus Christ. I will say, like, we do, like, gosh, how do I even want to say this? Like, pretty about as ruthless as it gets when it comes to like operating their league. But when it comes to delivering for the fans, I mean, getting that many millionaires, young millionaires to show up week after week and do their job is pretty admirable.
Yeah.
And how many controversies they've had. So, like, this has been talked about in like a lot of sports world stuff, but like, you know, those flyovers that happen, that military pays for that
Yeah. Yep.
It's good marketing.
because they market. And like when they do the breast cancer awareness, I think it's October,
Yeah.
the pink
November,
stuff.
I think.
And they barely donate any of the money. It's like a single digit amount.
But it's big awareness.
And they're selling
Yeah.
jerseys, they're selling hats, they're selling everything.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy if you think about it, to like create something that looks like an event doing an ode to our country, but it's actually they're getting a check for it. Like that's pretty, you know what I mean? Like it's almost like if at the beginning of every episode we fucking stood up and did the national anthem. It looks like we just love our country, but literally it was just a recruiting tool that we're being paid for.
It's for
I
the
mean,
army.
if they turned a guy that was effectively dead on the field as one of the biggest marketing moments. Do you know how many non-football players started getting, or non-football fans got interested in the story and tuned in, you know, the next week to see if he was going to be in the stands? That's unbelievable marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for
Well,
them.
you know who else is pretty much dead on the field? First Republic Bank.
This is a disaster.
I mean,
my God.
I thought we were at the bottom. Number one, I thought we were at the bottom at like $40 of their stock. Their stock went to $40. Thought we were at the bottom. Then we went down. We've been lingering around $13-14. I felt like that's for sure the bottom. You know, I would say, I think right before the drop, it was at like $115 or something.
Jeez.
I woke up this morning. I just check it every morning now because it's this fun sort of saga. I
It's
woke up
almost
this
like
morning.
a meme stock.
Yeah, and it's just fun to see, like, I don't know, whenever anything's like kind of really in the news like that, I add it to the list of what I check every morning. And it was at $5 this morning.
Jesus.
So it was down 40% yesterday, down to 30% today.
So it's done.
Yeah, the FDIC has pretty much said they're going to be seized by the government. They announced that $100 billion in deposits left this last quarter, and the bank's insolvent.
Yeah, so this is all because of their earnings report, right? Which is what caused the most recent drop.
And no one realized the scale of, $100 billion getting withdrawn.
Well,
Jamie Dimon is just going to be a financial superhero.
Well, if you think about it like this, the if you see the instant reaction to like Bud Light, this is your money,
right?
So people panicked. And everyone panics at a level now that's so instant.
And I don't blame people for panicking because you don't know if your money's going to be safe. We've all heard the stories from Silicon Valley Bank. Like that 48 hours, no one actually knew. Everyone just assumed that the deposits were going to be safe.
Yeah.
I also think that we really trained people during COVID. Like during COVID, you were always looking out for like how, what's the real risk here? Like there was videos of people dead on the street, apparently in China. Then there was like this kind of mistrust in mainstream media. So like you'd find out what's really going on the internet. Then there was like the crypto boom. Everyone was getting rich because of what they found out on the internet, GameStop on the internet. And I feel like the last few years have really trained people like, stay very vigilant to what is happening on the internet. Like that is where the information is happening. And when it happens, you react quickly. And I just feel like it's a new thing. Like this Silicon Valley Bank, that whole thing happened before the mainstream media could even really report on it,
Yeah.
Yep.
And now First Republic, same thing, the same thing happened. All the people pulled their money out. Now the earnings report, now it's happening again, again, I guess is the end of that sentence, but it's, I don't know. I just think people are really trained to like react quickly, like freak out, react quickly. Maybe it's the only way you're safe.
And 2 points. One, to the level of distrust. Back in 2008, when Bear Stearns collapsed, that was March. I just looked it up. March of 2008. Lehman didn't collapse till September.
Yeah.
And then the whole world fell apart within weeks after Lehman. And now when people see the Silicon Valley ex-CEO say 2 days before your deposits are safe, everyone's like, no, they're not. Yeah. I don't trust you.
They were safe though.
They were, but think about the shareholders of Silicon Valley Bank.
They got screwed.
And
same with First Republic.
So
I don't understand at this point, what is the rationale for why no big bank has saved First Republic?
Didn't JP Morgan give them $30 billion already? And now it feels a little sketchy.
Yeah, a consortium of banks gave $30 billion.
Yeah, but why don't they just buy the fucking thing?
No, they want the government to pay for it. They don't want to backstop it.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like they're on the fence between like save it to prevent contagion.
Impact. Yeah, prevent contagion.
Well, if you're the big guys, you get more concentrated. Where did that $100 billion go? It went to JP Morgan. It went to Goldman. It went to
Wells,
Bank of America, Citibank, Wells.
It's going to Apple's saving account. That's the safest bank on earth.
Yeah.
Go open one of those 4.5% accounts and call it a day.
It's still like so shameful that the Federal Reserve didn't warn anyone about these things. Yeah. Like, did they call all the regional banks, say like, hey, when we start raising rates,
trade out of these bonds? If they had just given, how does no one know? People in finance are not that smart, huh?
No, not at all. Everyone in finance.
Disappointed with my alma mater, Harvard. They're a bunch of dummies over there.
I thought that was your whole thing. Like you're the guy that I go to for like remembering that nobody's that smart. That's your whole. It's funny
because
like everyone's an idiot.
My experience in life has just proven. There's so many anecdotes that I go throughout life. I need to start writing these down of like these so-called geniuses.
They're not.
They don't know anything.
No, they don't know anything. It's finance and tech. Those are probably the two worlds where they make the most money.
Yeah. So people assume that they're the smartest.
Correct, because they're rich.
Yeah.
And the thing which is like abundantly clear, because this is obviously, I'm very close to the technology sector and know so many people in it, follow everything on Twitter.
They're all idiots.
Everyone's smart when everything goes up.
Yeah.
But the moment there's a correction, no one knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the problem is we had too long of everyone being a genius.
Yes. And too many Twitter threads.
Yeah.
I mean, you had 14 years of everyone being a genius.
Yeah.
14 years of everyone going on every podcast, how they can predict where the world's headed, and you raise interest rates 400%. Everyone's a moron.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get back to everyone being a genius, though. I mean, if we could just turn the
Yeah,
party
I was
back
like that
on.
too, 'cause
That was fun.
I want to be a genius.
Yeah, that was fun. All right, well, we'll see what happens, but it doesn't look pretty. It looks like, I don't know, there'll probably be some sort of news.
Something we talk about on this podcast for the last 5 years, that don't be intimidated by someone because they went to Harvard or Wharton or Stanford. Like, they just communicate things in fancy language, but they still don't know what's going on.
They use big words.
Yes,
Yeah.
very big words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they do not
Which
know
you
what's
two
going
try
on.
to fool people with all the time.
You know who knows what's going on? Ken Griffin.
Yeah. He just gave Harvard $300 million.
Because he decides, right?
But there's very few people. Warren Buffett, Ken
Yeah.
Griffin.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
list probably ends there.
Yeah. That's it.
And there you have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, Putin. I feel like there'll be some new news probably on the next episode, unfortunately, of what happens with First Republic. There'll be something.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear about McDonald's? McDonald's is starting to see, their CEO said that they're starting to see, what he's calling pushback on some of their prices. So people, adding less things to their order.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone sees this, right? Like, especially, we've done a lot of business, for example, in e-com, and you can start to see your average order value. And when people start removing things from carts, or maybe people add little things to carts, everyone pays attention to that. But, for McDonald's to start seeing an increase in people not adding things to their order because of prices seems a little alarming.
Yeah. I think, I've been reading, I follow someone on Twitter that has been breaking down what companies have been able to pass on the higher cost. So PepsiCo has done a really good job. I think Procter & Gamble and all those household essentials have been pretty good. So it's kind of shocking to see McDonald's not being able to pass along across the entire menu. It looks like their business is fine, but there's a $9 hamburger meal that isn't working, or there's clearly there's a price where the consumer is not willing to pay for it. Yep. I think what's interesting is food inflation seems like the hardest thing for people to stomach.
And it's also
you're accepting it in travel. You accept it in weird little pockets. Maybe your shampoo costs a little bit more. Maybe those things aren't being affected. Even me personally, the thing I comment most on is food inflation. Because I think you're obviously you eat out a lot in general, and you see the prices of how much anything is. I think that sticker shock is hard for a lot of consumers.
So Chipotle announced earnings 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And they increased prices 10%, I think, quarter over quarter.
Yeah.
And they've seen no pushback.
Different consumer.
Chipotle consumer is actually a higher earner. Or a high earner.
Yeah.
It's like a rich guy fast food place.
Yeah, I mean, I think just look where they're located around the city. They're in the better parts of the city in general, just in LA.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it's as ubiquitous as McDonald's is.
Yeah, because if you're someone spending what Chipotle is probably $20 if you want to get a drink and a side and a bowl, something like that.
Is that
$25.
$25?
If you get a chicken bowl and a drink and a chips with guac or queso, you're probably ending up around a little under 25.
You don't care. If you're willing to spend $25, what's the extra $2.50?
Damn, Chipotle's expensive.
Yeah.
$25.
But McDonald's used to be able to get out of there for $5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, I think, the problem. I think McDonald's you've always looked at as literally $5. I can get a meal. Fuck it. I can be fed. Get my fries.
I went to Taco Bell recently. $6. I was full.
Easy. Yeah. If that goes up to $9, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. If that was $9, I would have sticker
Same
shock.
with Del Taco. $6, you're full.
Del Taco probably $2. You can. I mean, I love it, but yeah. It's just interesting. It's interesting to see where these things are. Like we've said a lot. Like there's so many different stories happening at once with job numbers and inflation numbers, and then you hear stories about this, and then you hear about layoffs, and then you hear, it's just really interesting. But this is just another little data point here,
and it shows how we've always said it's just stratifying the society. So Chipotle guy who could spend 25, no problems, charge me an extra 10%. McDonald's person, customer, they're the ones getting screwed. So
yeah.
It's sad. It's really sad.
All right, let's wrap it up. It is Wednesday, right? So normally we record this episode at the end of the week, and so whatever. But I think this is actually good. We can do the winners, losers, and content of the last week, and still we'll do our content. We'll sort of give people what to check out. Look, we all know everyone's checking out on Friday morning anyway, maybe Thursday evening. So here's some good content for you. Here's our winners, losers. We'll do our wrap ups on Wednesday now.
Yeah.
D, who is your biggest winner of the week?
I saw a tweet by a writer named Derek Thompson, and he posted a new National Research Group survey, and they asked moviegoers to name the actors they'd be most likely to see in theaters. Among the top 20 actors, I'll give you the top 5 in a second. The top 20 actors, the average age is 57 and a half. 2 are in their 80s. None are under 35. And only 1 is under 40, which is Chris Hemsworth, and he turns 40 in August. The top 5 are Tom Cruise, The Rock, Tom Hanks, Brad Pitt, Denzel Washington, then Julia Roberts and Will Smith and Leo and Johnny Depp and Kevin Hart. It's pretty fascinating because someone made a comment in the thread that these were all stars pre-social media era.
Yep.
Right? This is when you went to the movie because there was a star in it. And so it begs the question, can you ever, if you're the movie business, you just have to stick to these 20 people. Rock's got 30 years left of making movies?
Probably.
40? He could be 90.
Well, because of social media.
Yeah, that guy will do a movie at
Let's assume he lives to 120.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's assume, right? Is he making a movie at 95?
Yeah. And he's
him and Kevin Hart as retired,
retired fucking, they're on the prison yard, and The Rock is fucking lifting 400 still at 95.
Social media, it's just fragmented stars. Because my TikTok feed's different than your TikTok feed, which is different than Drama's TikTok feed.
But I can make the argument. The real problem is if you look at think about how hard the fucking Rock had to work to become The Rock. Your point is that there's a bunch of young people that even Morgan Wallen has the potential to be the biggest star in the world, right? He can potentially do that. He doesn't want it.
No.
Yeah, I would even say he is it. He's just handing it over.
Yeah, he's just I'm good. I'd rather get drunk and hook up with some TikTok stuff.
Yeah, to do what it takes to be that for that long is tough.
It's hard.
And you hear the stories of Tom Hanks, The Rock, Kevin Hart. Those guys work 24 hours a day.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. Is that it may not be. Everyone wants to blame social media. Maybe people just don't give a fuck anymore to be that big of a star. Also,
maybe these social media kids are just irresponsible and don't it's fragmented partly because you got TikTokers already acting like movie stars and being divas, and they're hard to work with, and your career eventually just sort of sputters out. Think about The Rock had to make it through WWE, show up to that, be on time, be at least good enough to work with that he could make his way through those ranks, then do movies. I mean, it really is a lot of doing your job, showing up, treating people well.
Yeah.
That all goes into,
of course.
I also think now with social media, the people that become stars, they just get complacent. So a lot of these TikTok kids, I mean, if they make single digit millions, they're probably oh, I'm cool. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm 21. I don't need to do anything else. And then they fall off.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
exactly
they can't
what's
earn.
happening.
Then they can't earn again in 4 years.
Yeah.
And the old school stars know
They're paranoid.
so paranoid. They show up to everything. They work their ass off because they know there's someone else coming up. Well, maybe not anymore.
Yeah.
For
I mean,
fun.
if I'm walking
There's a
around,
big
there's
gap.
like nobody coming up.
Yeah, there's a big gap. Yeah, that's a good case study on success.
Yeah.
Okay, Anna, who's
All
your
right.
winner?
D was boots on the ground. Was it 2 weeks ago in Columbus, Ohio, saying how amazing it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Data is backing you up.
Yeah.
So same writer, Derek Thompson from The Atlantic, said Columbus, Ohio is an amazing success story. It's the fastest growing metro in the Midwest, the strongest downtown recovery in the region, the fourth best downtown recovery in the country, and it's responsible for 100% of the entire state's population growth in the last 20 years.
Columbus is ripping.
Wow, you say 100%?
Yeah, so all the migration to Ohio has 100% gone to Columbus.
I'm telling you, when you walk downtown Columbus, Ohio, that street, it's unbelievable.
I
Unbelievable.
wonder who did that, because if it is also true. No offense, it's my home state, but you walk into the other cities, it doesn't look like that.
No, I mean, that same day I was in Cleveland.
Yeah, you thought you were going to get killed on the street.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
like Cleveland was not Columbus. Let me
And
tell you.
Cincy too, Cincinnati, same thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's so interesting. It's not like Ohio did a thing and Columbus
Just one
is leading
person in
it.
Columbus.
Yeah, like someone's.
Maybe the college really pushed them to do it too. Like the kids demanded
There's
it.
got to be some developer that's famous that's responsible, like
Yeah.
a Caruso type, right?
Yeah, maybe.
I just think, isn't that an interesting case study in like how to improve a, society?
For sure, because there's no difference in climate from Columbus, Cincinnati, and Cleveland, and you have three different stories.
Yeah. So how do we do that to the U.S. as a whole? Like, I just think, I don't know, that's something fascinating of what happened there. It was probably a perfect storm. Like you guys are kind of saying, like maybe the right politicians, the right developers, the right college, the right, it probably all came together there, but it's really interesting. Love it. Shout out to Ohio. Mine, I'll be quick because I'm actually just parroting what you guys have already said. SpaceX, I went back and watched that all-in intro. It was fucking fantastic.
It was so good, right?
Yeah,
Goosebumps.
it just felt to me, you know what made me like, what's a bummer is like, that felt like the old like speech that like Kennedy gave about going to the moon,
Yeah.
But unfortunately now it's like three dudes in the back of a Zoom call because all the press, is saying like, oh, rocket blows up. Like, it's sad that's instead of like, it'd be sick if like Biden was standing in front, doing an address in front of the SpaceX crew saying, oh my gosh, this great achievement, but whatever, wishful thinking. It was still really cool. And the way those guys said it was like so inspiring. So just reiterating what you guys already said. But if you didn't listen to it, go check it out.
Yeah.
Love it. D, who's your loser?
My loser is anyone who did not head over to Shop New Republic and get the new group chat merch.
Yep.
I agree. You're a loser.
Good call.
You're a loser.
Loser.
Big loser.
Do it. Do it today. I'm going to post on my story today. I'm actually a loser because I need to come in and actually get some. So I'll be there on Sunday. But yeah, it's fucking cool. That camo hat that Eric posted.
Oh, it's so dope.
That thing was
We got to
sick.
release that next.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. So
I don't know
go
if
to
that's
Shop New
going to fly
Republic.
I don't know if it's going to fly at LACC.
No. I would never.
That's a Bel Air hat.
I would never. I'll be wearing a red hat with white writing at LACC. Yeah, go get it. ShopNewRepublic.com. Limited. Get there while you can. I'll just get out of the way. My loser was Morgan Wallen. We talked about it. Anand, who's your loser?
In the interest of being banned from LACC, Ron DeSantis.
Uh-oh.
So now Disney's suing him because he
Personally or the state?
The state.
Okay.
And, they're been jockeying with this board. Disney got ahead of it, saying they keep all their tax exemptions. Now DeSantis has a new board and they're saying it's all gone. And DeSantis slipping in the polls to Donnie.
Yeah.
Seems like he's a wrap.
Donnie and Biden are going at it again. That's what's happening.
It's
the same
wild.
reason. The average age of the actor is 60. The average age of president is 100.
We couldn't find
Literally.
one candidate on either side that's viable.
Who?
It is
Name
mind blowing.
somebody.
Nobody can. It's whoever did the thing in Columbus. Get him up there.
Yeah.
It's
I know, that'd be like-
crazy.
I mean, literally, it's a joke.
If we have
There's nobody-
2024 Trump versus Biden, which it looks like is what we're going to have, that is fucking.
It's a joke.
It seems like a lock.
Yeah, they both are saying they're running.
They both, Biden announced.
Yeah.
I got to say, even the Full Send kids did another interview with Trump, and it had like crazy record numbers. You know, their first one got pulled because it was Trump. And
No, it got pulled because they talk about election fraud.
sure, more accurate, yes. But I think. I just think Trump, I mean, they talked about it again this time, right? So we'll see. Like him saying the election was stolen. What?
The clips, I saw some of the clips on TikTok. Like those young kids, how old are the Nelk boys? They're in their 20s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're, you got to say, top 10 young influencers around.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
They're talking about, like, we need you back, Donald.
Yeah, that's what, that was going to be my
crazy.
point.
Yeah.
Is like the way they talk. Like even on the first one, it felt a little bit like, oh, this is fucking crazy. We have Trump, you know, like Trump. But now it's
So that
literally
was like an
switched.
endorsement interview.
Yeah, this was
Yeah.
basically like, we're all in.
I'm telling you, the youth is going to come out for them.
I think
Maybe.
they are. I also think it's almost become like a joke and like cool.
I
to
think
be
it was a
Trump fan.
joke 2.5 years ago, and now these young kids are like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I just could see like the same way when Kanye wore a MAGA hat, it was absurd. And I could see next year influencers, YouTubers running around in MAGA hats left and right, and it just being a fashion statement.
I agree.
100%. Those SEC schools we talked about,
Yeah.
those kids aren't going to be afraid to rock it.
Yeah.
Hell no. Okay. Losers D content.
My content is NBA playoffs.
Mm.
I haven't been watching basketball all season. And I watched the Laker game the other night and it was so awesome. I saw the highlight of the Hawks Celtics. I watched the shot like 10 times.
Yep.
I don't know when sports are good when the players care.
Yeah, and the NBA stars have decided the regular season does not matter,
Yeah.
and the playoffs will show up
Yeah.
and play.
You know, I think the NBA needs like a live golf moment where like someone needs to threaten it so that they get it back in line.
Yeah, because the playoffs have been phenomenal, and the regular season was no reason to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the low seeds are the ones winning.
Yeah.
Lakers were the 7 seed; they're beating the 2 seed.
Yeah.
The Bucks were a low seed; they were in the playing game. They're beating, or the Heat were in the
Yeah.
playing game on the East, and they're beating the Bucks.
Yeah.
So it shows you the regular season didn't matter.
Yeah. You just have to get in the playoffs.
That's the other thing about golf and like live golf is like every event, yes, they all lead to bigger events, but every event is its own like championship,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Did that tournament happen over the weekend where they were trying to recreate the waste management 16th hole?
Yeah, but I've never watched live. It's just, you know, it's on like CW or whatever. I never watch it, but yeah, I saw clips of it.
Got it.
It looked wild, but it looked maybe a little too wild. I don't know. I haven't tuned in. Anand, what's your, wait, can I just ask real quick? Cause I'm out of the loop. What's the Lakers current score?
They're up 3-1. They play
Great.
today at 4:30.
Great. Anand, what's your content?
My content is the NFL draft, which is tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Nice.
And 32 new millionaires are instantly created, which is pretty
Nice.
awesome.
And they're all showing up.
I wonder if
They're showing up.
Yeah, I mean, and Bud Light better sponsor that.
Right now.
I mean, they should literally hand it when you get drafted.
So the number one
Yes.
pick is going to be Bryce Young.
Yeah.
They should just give him $20 million and say, have a can when you
Yep.
Yes.
do your press conference.
You just became the number one drafter. What are you going to do? I'm going to go to Disneyland and pop open this Bud Light.
Yep.
There you go.
Shotgun it, spike it, take off.
Yeah.
The unfortunate part is he's going to be playing Carolina. He may get booed game 1.
They got to turn it around by then.
Yeah. They can turn it around by then.
Oh, man. My content is I've been watching a new show on Netflix called Beef.
Oh, I want to
Yeah.
watch it. I love
pretty good.
Ali Wong.
Yeah, it's
Rave
pretty
reviews.
good. Yep. It's
Is
good.
it funny? I heard it's dark.
It's
Is it dark?
it's no, it's pretty mildly dark. I mean,
Okay.
there's a dark edge to it, I guess you could say, but like no one's dying.
Okay.
Yeah, Amanda
Um,
said I'd love it.
Love Ali Wong.
Yeah, there's just
And
like
David
cheating
Cho's in
and
it.
like, you know, stuff like that. It's very mildly dark, but it's really good. I don't know why. I think maybe because it was like so everyone was talking about it. It seemed to me like I just wouldn't like it, but I'm into it. I'm about five episodes in. It's great.
Great.
So check it out. That's it. What we
We got a shout out.
What do we got?
We got a shout out from Tristano to all the Cathys.
Woo!
And his shout out is basically he thinks there's not enough shout outs. That's his shout out.
That's interesting.
He said, step it up. I've been hearing less and less shout outs, and we need to turn this shit up. Big shout out to D-Drum and Anand for keeping us fresh and up to date. I think I speak for all of us when I say you guys make us a lot more educated and up to date. Thanks for all the information, news, and gossip. And just one love from the Dutch Caribbean of Curaçao. Sincerely, Tristano.
Curacao.
And P.S.
He
I need
must
to be
live a
on the
great life.
podcast. We shout out to you, Tristano.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's interesting because I figured that everyone turned off the shout outs except for the other person in the car that says, no, wait, you got to hear this. Because
Yeah.
they're the ones who gave them the shout out. So you got it.
Yeah.
We'll work on that.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. That's it.
That's it. All right. Everyone have a great rest of your week. That's it. We'll see you Sunday.